Hello everyone, it's Sherri again, and it's time for Creating Your Story with Sherri. Today we're going to talk about two things. We're going to be talking about keeping a journal, and we're going to be also doing some watercolor painting. Okay, so let's get started. And a diary is another name for a journal. You can call it whatever you like. Our book today is called Diary of a Worm by Doreen Cronin. Pictures by Harry Bliss. March 20. Mom says there are 3 things I should always remember. Number 1, the earth gives us everything we need. Number 2, when we dig tunnels, we help take care of the earth. Must make tunnel, help earth breathe. And number 3, never bother Daddy when he's eating the newspaper. Chomp, chomp. It's true. Worms help to keep air in the soil. It makes it better for everything that grows and that lives in the dirt. March 29th. Today I tried to teach Spider how to dig. First, all of his legs got stuck. He says, I think I've twisted one of my ankles. Then he swallowed a bunch of dirt. He said, Patooey. Tomorrow he's going to teach me how to walk upside down. And the worm says, I give up. March 30. Worms cannot walk upside down. Uh-oh. He tried it on a tree branch. Guess what? Spider had to rescue him. He spun a web really quick and caught that worm before he fell. April 4. Fishing season started today. We all dug deeper. Why is that? Did you guys hear something? Here comes a shovel. Bait. Yeah. A lot of people like to fish with worms on their hook, don't they? So the worms are going to go down deep in the ground and try not to get caught. April 10. It rained all night and the ground was soaked. We spent the entire day on the sidewalk. Hopscotch is a very dangerous game. Look out. They could get stepped on. Yes, when it rains really hard, or if you pour water onto the ground, the earthworms might come up. They can't take too much water down there where they live. April 15. I forgot my lunch today. I got so hungry that I ate my homework. My teacher made me write, I will not eat my homework 10 times. But when I was finished, I ate that too. Earthworms don't care. They like to eat paper. April 20th. I snuck up on some kids in the park today. They didn't hear me coming. I wiggled up right between them and they screamed. I love when they do that. He likes to make them scream and run away. May 1st. Grandpa taught us that good manners are very important. So today I said good morning to the first ant I saw. Good morning. There were 600 more of them in line. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing? Good morning, nice to see you. Howdy, good morning. I stood there all day. He had a whole day of practicing his manners, didn't he? On May 8th, I had the worst nightmare last night. Giant birds playing hopscotch. Oh no. Mom says I have to stop eating so much garbage right before I go to bed. That's what made him have the bad dream about a giant bird coming after him. May 15. I got into a fight with Spider today. He told me you need legs to be cool. Then he ran. I couldn't keep up. Maybe he's right. On May 16, I made Spider laugh so hard he fell out of his tree. Who needs legs? Thud. What did he do to make him laugh? He's wearing one of those hats that looks like an arrow went through his head. May 28th. Last night I went to the school dance. They played the hokey pokey. Have you guys ever played the hokey pokey? You put your head in, you put your head out. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself about. That's all we could do. They don't have any legs or arms or anything else to put in and out for the hokey pokey. June 5. Today we made macaroni necklaces in art class. I brought mine home and we ate it for dinner. And Dad said, "You are very talented." June 15. My older sister thinks she's so pretty. Look at her. I told her that no matter how much time she spends looking in the mirror, her face will always look just like her rear end. Poor sister. Spider thought that was really funny. Mom did not. She's saying, "Don't you be mean to your sister like that." July 4th. When I grow up, I want to be a Secret Service agent. Spider says I will have to be very careful because the president might step on me by mistake. It's a dangerous job, I told him, but someone's got to do it. And there he is, dreaming of being a Secret Service agent. Do you know what that is? That's somebody that guards somebody very important. July 28th. 3 things I don't like about being a worm. Number 1, I can't chew gum. Number 2, I can't have a dog. Can we keep him, Mom? No. And number 3, all that homework. Look at the books he's bringing home. Digging a history. Soil through the ages. Compost 101. There's a lot you have to learn to be a worm, I think. I never really thought about it. July 29. 3 good things about being a worm. I never have to go to the dentist. No cavities. No teeth either. I never get in trouble for tracking mud through the house. Because that's what worms do. And I never have to take a bath. And Mom says, "Who's my grubby little boy?" August 1. It's not always easy being a worm. We're very small, and sometimes people forget that we're even here. There they are, underground in their burrow. But, like Mom always says, the earth never forgets we're here. That's right. They do a lot for the earth. I like earthworms, but I also like the fact that that earthworm kept a diary. And like I said, a diary is another name for a journal. All right, I'm going to show you a couple of my journals, and then we're going to do some watercolor. I actually think that watercolor is a good thing to do in journaling, but in my journal, we actually use all the things that we've done this summer, all the different kinds of art, and I'll show you here. First of all, I want to show you some pages of my journal that I just write things in, okay? Now, before I start though, let me show you. If you got a summer reading packet, you got a book that looks something like this, and if you would like this to be your journal, it will be perfect. It has lots of lined pages. You could write lots of things, all right? In my journal that I write in most every day, not every day, one of the things I do is I make lists of things that I'm grateful for. And let's see, this was from last year. One of the things last summer that I was grateful for was barn swallows, I wrote down. Quiet days at the library. Well, there's too many of those lately. Boxes of crayons. Cool nights. On another page, and I was looking back over this, I saw that one of the things I was grateful for was meteor showers. And I saw a fantastic meteor shower last year. I actually saw some shooting stars the other night, too. But my favorite kind of journaling that I do is called art journaling. All right? Let me show you this. In my art journal, I use lots of different things, lots of different kinds of art to show what my time was like. that week. Usually I have 2 pages for each week. Here's the days of the month. This was last July. I'm showing here what the weather was like, and then I put a little bit about my different days. On this side, because it was last year, it was around July 4th, I made some fireworks with some glitter and glue, and then I printed a picture of my family on July 4th enjoying the river, and there's a fire where we were camping. Another thing to do in a journal is to keep track of important things, like here, the day that our dog came to live with us. And there's Aggie, our little beagle, last fall when we got her. Look how tiny she is. She's not tiny anymore. And again, here's my week. The different days, the weather, some things. Just whatever happened. Maybe I was feeling good, maybe I wasn't. Maybe we went out to eat. Things like that. So we've been doing some watercolor too in my journal. Here's some watercolor pictures I did a couple of years ago in January. I actually drew and painted with watercolors this little bird. It's a bird that you see at the feeders in January a lot of times. And I was talking about the new year. On another page, I did a lot of collage on this one. I really like how this one turned out, this page. These are pictures that I printed, that I found on the internet and I printed. Here's a picture I cut out of a magazine. And here is a little sketch I made of Eeyore. And here are some clocks. I talked a lot about time. I talked a lot about time on this page, and here are my days. Okay, I'll show you one more page, and that is this one that I really like because there's a lot of watercolor in the background. And here my watercolor is just brown and yellow and orange because it was October, as you can see. The leaves were changing. Here I actually took some leaves, I put them in a magazine or a book or something to get them flat, then I glued them down, and then I actually went over it with sealer. And here is my different days. And I talked about what I did on the different days. So your journal can really be anything you want it to be. You can use art, you don't have to, you can just use writing if you would like to. But it's a good place to practice your art, to practice your drawing, and to just experiment and make it be as pretty and unusual and exciting as you want it to be. Now, I said we were going to talk about watercolor. There's a bunch of different ways to do watercolor, but the way I like the best is called wet on wet, which just means that your paper is wet and your brush is wet, all right? And to get started, I probably should have done this a little bit ahead of time, I'm sorry. To get started, what you want to do is you want to take your paint palette, and you should have one. It might not have this many colors in it, but if you got a reading packet from the library, there's a watercolor set in there for you to use. I'm going to put some water in the colors that I'm going to use. Now I have a container of clear water here that I use to clean out my brush in between. And I'm going to pick 3 or 4 colors that I'm going to use. I'm going to do blue. I'm going to do a kind of a green. I have some, I'm not sure if it's red or if it's orange. We'll find out when it gets on the paper. And some purple. So as you can see, I'm taking the water and putting it on the little well that has the dry color in to soften it up so that the paint will come out better. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the paper. Now you can do this with a brush too, but since it's such a big area, I'm not sure I'll do the whole area, I'm going to use a spray bottle of water. And again, in your summer reading packet, now it won't be this big, you should have a small spray bottle that you can put water in. And I'm going to do this away from the computer so that I don't get it on the keyboard. You can hear and see a little bit that I'm getting this kind of wet. Okay, if you have too much, you might want to keep a paper towel handy in case you have too much water, but you'll find you probably don't. Then we're going to take our brush, wet it again, let's see, dip it, put this here, dip it in the water, dip it in the paint, and then dab it wherever you would like. And this watercolor that I'm doing today is going to I'm not going to try to make it look like any particular picture. It's just going to be about blending the colors. And you can see that already the colors are running. If you were with us in the spring, this is a little bit like what happened when we used markers and water. Do you remember doing that? Some of you that were here before? And indeed, you can kind of get the same effect if you take markers and then spray it with your bottle of water. Let's put some green in now. Don't be afraid to get the green near the blue. Green and blue, when they are close to each other, really blend nicely. Don't be afraid to wet your brush again in your container of water like this. It's getting kind of colored, but that's okay. It shouldn't make anything. You still should be able to get the color that you're going after. Okay. Should we add another color? I really like blue and green. Let's get some green in here in the middle. Okay, let's try some of the purple. This is going to make it brighter. See how the colors are running together? Some of them are staying by themselves. Let's put some down here. This picture is coming out much nicer than the one I did yesterday, which I'll show you. I wanted to have a dry one so I could show you what I'm going to do with my watercolor. Okay, and should we put some, you know what? I don't think I'm going to put any orange in here. I think I'm going to put in some light green instead. And that's going to be my picture for today. Now, as it dries, it's going to keep blending, but you can see pretty much what we've ended up with. I'm not going to pick it up because it's very wet and the colors will go everywhere. Look, I show it to you like that. If you let that dry, I think it's pretty nice. Okay. All right. Carefully pick it up and put it back here. And let me show you the watercolor that I did the other day. It looks like this. Okay. Before I did the watercolor in this one, I actually cut it so it was the exact size for me to glue on my composition book to make a cover for it that looks like that. I wish it was a little bit more colorful, But you know, just because I did it like this doesn't mean I can't go back and put more color on, or maybe put on some stickers, or I could draw on this, I could write on it, I could put my journal, I could put my name, anything like that that we would like to do. And all you need is a glue stick and get that good and glued. Let's see, you know how to use a glue stick. And I think there's a glue stick in your packet as well. I know there's some regular glue. You can use whatever kind of glue you want for your journal cover. And then you just put your paper right down on there and smooth it out. Some things on there. Maybe you've got some pictures. Maybe you have some photos of your family you'd like to put on there. Maybe you would like to put a picture of your pet on there like I did with Aggie in my journal. But the exciting thing is that no matter what you put on the front, whatever you put inside is totally up to you. Journaling is good for a lot of things. But the one thing I like the best about it is that when you journal, when you write down something about your day, every day, or let's say maybe you even do it every week, it allows you to look back at the day and at the week and to think about the important things that happened that day, so that later on, when you look back and read it again, you have memories of that. And it just makes that time all the more special, okay? And something you can do it just for you, or you can do it and you can share it with other people. Hopefully, if you do make a cover for your journal, you might want to post pictures of it on our site for everyone to see. Okay, I want to talk to you really quickly now about a special project that we're doing at Snyder County Libraries, and you will see, you probably have already seen a notice about it. It's a Penpal Project. And I want to encourage you, if you haven't already, to write a letter to someone. Write a letter that tells a little bit about you. Send it off to us at the library, and we will make sure that you get matched with a pen pal right here in the area, someone who really would like to hear from you. Okay? All right. Check that out, and we'll see you another time. Thanks.